For more, let's cross to Washington. Frederic Wehrey is a senior fellow at the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, author of The Burning Shores Inside the Battle for the New Libya. Many thanks for joining us here on France 24.
Great to be here. Thank you.
Let's start with the latest Al Arabiya television reporting that Khalifa Haftar, that Eastern Libyan military commander, has told Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, that his operation towards Libya will continue, quote, until terrorism has been defeated. What's going on?
Well, this has been a long-running theme of his, that he wants to cleanse the capital and Western Libya of terrorists. Now, what he really means is his political opponents. To be sure, there are multiple militias in the capital, and so he's playing on this theme of restoring order. But in essence, it's a grab for power.
A grab for power between players that have different backers. We saw this meeting that took place recently between Haftar and the prime minister of the Tobruk government, the internationally recognized one in the Emirates. Was there some kind of deal cut? What's going on?
Well, he's been making threats to move on the West, on Tripoli, for quite a long time. He has foreign backers, the United Arab Emirates, Egypt, Russia, France. They each back him for their own reasons. The Gulf Arab monarchies back him because he's against political Islam. And so he's a useful ally for them. But what we're seeing is that he's really run up against fierce resistance.
Run up against fierce resistance. They claim to have taken this village, though, that's 40 kilometers. That's from the capital, the closest they've come to Tripoli. What kind of reaction can we expect from the likes of, say, Turkey and Qatar, which back the other side?
They did back the other side, especially during 2014, during the last round of fighting. But their allies in Libya, their local militias, have really disappeared from the scene. So it would be hard for me to see Turkey and Qatar stepping up the fight here. The resistance is coming from local Libyan militias on their own in Tripoli. Haftar was counting on buying them off or flipping them. That has not gone according to plan.
Yeah, buying them off or flipping them. In the old days, when it was Muammar Gaddafi in charge, he bought the peace with the local clans. Haftar would need a lot more money, you say, to be able to do so?
I think so. Well, it also he'd need more. I think more military forces. Military support. You have to remember that his entire so-called army is really a collection of militias that have signed on to him. So I think it's a matter of money, but then also the local sort of social demography of Libya. It's very hard for one person to extend any form of control over it.
So what's the solution for Libya at this point?
Well, the immediate solution is an immediate ceasefire and withdrawal, so that this doesn't spiral out of control. And then we need to get back on this peace process that the UN was brokering. For all of its flaws, it was really the only game in town. I mean, there was no plan B. And so the other solution is for outside states to stop meddling, to stop pouring gasoline on the fire and backing militias like Haftar's.
The collapse of the Libyan state was coupled with the overthrow of Muammar Gaddafi. Where you are in Washington, the U.S. played a central role in ousting Gaddafi. Has there been much reaction to the latest developments?
I'm certainly pushing for that in my interactions. I think the U.S. has signed on to a joint statement, but I've argued the U.S. could be doing so much more. Libya's really disappeared from the Trump administration's radar. Of course, a huge U.S. failing was the failure to follow up after the revolution, after the intervention, and to help Libya get on a path to recovery.
All right, Frederic Wehrey of the Carnegie Endowment for International Peace, author of The Burning Shores Inside the Battle for the New Libya. Many thanks for joining us from Washington.
My pleasure. Thank you.